Hey everybody, this is Kevin. I'm doing a new video today with the war drums beating towards Iran and talk of another stimulus. I thought it might be useful to do a new video, and the focus isn't actually going to be on those two topics directly. It's actually going to be kind of a self-help type of a video. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to educate you on the 5 obvious signs that the federal government is getting ready to steal from you. Of course, we've all heard this line used occasionally, and the first and most obvious sign is an official of a federal agency shows up at your door and says, "Hi, I'm from federal agency whatever, and I'm here to help." Usually that means he's not here to help. He's actually here to ram his hand down your pocket and rip money from your wallet. That's usually what a federal official is intending to do. So that's sign number 1, a federal official showing up claiming to be here to help. One of the other ways to recognize that the federal government's getting ready to steal from you is when you hear politicians on the television, you hear maybe heads of a certain federal department on the TV saying, "Oh, this is a crisis and we need swift action." I use probably the banker bailout from last fall as the prime example of how that works. Obviously, you had a crisis that was the result of severe and utter mismanagement of monetary policy and the economy as a whole. And of course, they use that to justify taking action. And what was the action? The action was mortgaging the next God knows how long, mortgaging the future of America for decades and decades and decades. Another way to recognize that the federal government is getting ready to steal from you is the looking forward view. This could be a potential problem. I would probably insert here as a example. We'll say cap and trade, perfect example. If we don't do something now, we are always told this could get real bad. So what do the feds do for us? Give you cap and trade. We're just going to tax you more. Clearly, that's going to solve the problem. No, it's not going to solve the problem. It's going to create a new problem for me and everybody else who works, because they're going to watch more and more of their labor be stolen by the government. So, another good example of how you can recognize that the government is getting ready to steal from you. This one is a pretty popular one. This is the one's been used ad nauseum for the last year. This problem is so severe that doom is imminent. All hell is going to break loose if we don't do something right now. Banker bailout, stimulus plans, those are the most obvious examples of this phenomenon. Anytime that a government official gets in front of a camera or in front of a microphone and tells you the world will end if we do nothing, that means, you guessed it, grab hold of your wallet and do it fast, because they're coming for it. Now, the war drums are beating in Iran. The liberal neocons are ready to start dropping the hammer on the Iranians for nuclear facilities that are totally legal. So how could this possibly be a sign that they're getting ready to steal from you? Ha! They create a fallacious threat. They did it with Iraq. They're doing it with Iran. They're getting ready for another war, and let me tell you something, folks. It ain't the government that pays for the war. It's you through your labor, and they're taking your labor through force. They are preparing for a big old screw job. They're going to take your money, and they're going to take it with pride. And they're going to do it all under the guise of, oh, we've got to protect you. Oh, you can't help yourselves. Oh, if we don't do this, everything's going to be, oh, they're going to wipe Israel off the face of the map, even though Iran's never fought an invasive war in about 2 centuries. And Israel's done it 3 times in the last decade. It's Iran that's the threat. Don't you understand? We need to take your money. No, they don't. But when they pull that card out, know in the back of your mind, they're getting ready to steal from you and steal from you good. And those are really the 5 obvious signs that the government is getting ready to steal from you. Now, we know that the end result of these actions is average people being robbed. Okay, we've established that fact. But what's the other end result? In each one of these instances, the money you're robbed of is used to grease the pockets of special interests. And that might be the bigger crime of all, because the politicians use it to secure their power and to secure their power over your wealth. That is a crime, and that is something we should all be cognizant of. We should be able to recognize it. Anytime a government official says we need to do something, they've got their sights set on your labor and the fruits of your labor. Now, one point that I didn't make here that would be, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. We've established these 5 examples where the federal government, how to recognize that the government is going to steal from you. Of course, the most obvious way to recognize if the federal government is going to steal from you is simply this. The federal government exists. Of course they're going to steal from you.